Yes, I said that. So today I want you to consider me your relationship counselor. Okay. Hola a todos y bienvenido a mi canal de YouTube. Me llamo Chimamaka and this is Chi with the Longitude. So I just want to say thank you so much, guys, for everyone who followed, subscribed and liked my last video. Thank you so much. And if you're new here, kindly click the subscribe button and join me in this video. Okay, so on today's episode, I will be talking about something really interesting and which is really for you. Okay, and so today I'll be teaching you 5 easy ways to learn any language using the long distance relationship method. Yes, I said that. So today I want you to consider me your relationship counselor. So, but this time is a relationship between you and your target language. So I'll get right to it. If it's something you think you want to listen to and learn, so join me. Now, the first thing I would say is have a picture in your mind right now. Imagine that this is you and this is the distance between you and your target language. I know this is not quite much, but you get the point. Okay, so let's say you live in a different continent and your target language most times would live in another continent or from another tribe or something of the sort. So, and you are in a long distance relationship. So the first thing to note before getting into any relationship is interest, right? You have to be interested in this person to want to reach out, get to know them, ask for their numbers, right? So now the first thing in learning any language is interest. One, you have to be interested in the language. Interested enough to find out countries that speak this language, you know, their culture and whatever it is there is to the language. So you have to have the interest. So the next point is, what would you normally do if you were in a long distance relationship? That means you don't get to see your partner all the time, right? I've never been in one, so I really don't know. So you guys will have to help me, but I mean, consider me an expert right now. So if you're in a long distance relationship, it means that you don't get to see your partner often and all of that. So what is the closest thing that you guys have? Or what is the closest thing to seeing each other that you do? You guessed right, communication. Yes, you have to talk and talk all the time. And this time you make use of all the mediums you can lay your hands on. You use WhatsApp, Facebook, Skype, WhatsApp video calls, Instagram, everywhere you have, you know, the platforms that you guys use. In fact, some people go as far, I had a friend one time who slept off on a Skype call with her partner in quotes, and it was a long distance relationship. So people go as far as doing stuff like that. The same thing you get to do when you are in a relationship with your target language. You have to have contact, communicate on a daily basis. Imagine you're in a long distance relationship and you don't get to talk to your partner for a day or two, 1 week, 2 weeks. We will know that there is trouble in paradise, right? Exactly. That's the same thing that happens when you're trying to learn a language and there is a disconnect. You know, you don't have contact with the language. You don't listen to any music. You don't listen to any stuff. You don't practice days into weeks and months. We know that there's trouble in paradise, like I said earlier. So you have to communicate. You have to have contact with your target language. Okay, imagine you just got into a relationship, a long distance relationship, and let's say for instance you are in Nigeria like myself and your significant other is in China or let's say Japan. All right, now except you're some billionaire or something, I don't think it's realistic for you to see each other every other weekend. You know, you flying to China or your significant other flying down to Nigeria every weekend to visit you. I'm just saying, except you have to be really rich and maybe own a private jet to, you know, take those trips. So my point is, so if this is not possible in your regular relationship, human relationship, you can't travel every weekend to China just to see man or woman or something. So that's the same way you can't set unrealistic goals in your language journey, right? So you can set goals that are quite achievable. If, for instance, in your relationship, you can say we get to see every 3 months, every 6 months, depending on your pocket. For some people, every year. For some people, every 2 years. I don't know, but then it depends on your pocket. So the same way with your language journey. So you can say stuff like, in the next 3 months, I'll be using Chinese, for instance. So you can say stuff like, in the next 3 months, I'll be able to make simple sentences, introduce myself, talk about my job, talk about stuff like this in the next 3 months. So that way you are able to pace your progress. All right. So you're not setting unrealistic goals. You're not saying, oh, in the next 3 months, I'll be able to speak Chinese. I mean, saying that's quite vague and bogus if you ask me, because saying in the next 3 months I'll be able to speak Chinese would mean you're trying to say, oh, you would have mastered the pinyin and everything that has to do with the language. And if you ask me, that's quite vague. Yes. So set realistic goals for your language journey. Set realistic goals for your relationship. So you say, in the next 3 months, I'll be able to do this, and that in the language. So that way you are able to measure your progress. Okay, now the next point is really, really interesting, and the ladies are going to celebrate me for that, okay? So you know how when it's time for your anniversary, yes, and let's say your partner forgets, because the men usually forget most of the time. Ladies never forget. We're really that good. So ladies, you get to give me a thumbs up for rooting for all of you. Okay, so the thing is, the same way you celebrate your milestones in your relationship, you celebrate the first anniversary, whatever, and all of that. You celebrate Valentine's Day, birthdays, and just special dates in your relationship. That's the same way you should celebrate milestones in your language journey. I mean, it's a whole lot of work to learn any language whatsoever. And you got so far as learning the alphabet, and you know all the sounds of the alphabet. Get yourself a drink, pop champagne, do something. Take yourself out for lunch, take yourself out for dinner. You did well. So learn to celebrate the milestones. That way you know that you're working for something. And sometimes I do this, sometimes I place a reward for myself right in front of me. And when I, get to that point, I congratulate myself. So you can do that also on your language journey. Learn to celebrate the milestones, the small victories. Like, oh, I learned numbers 1 to 10 in Chinese today. Oh, that's a whole lot of work I just did. And I get to give myself some kudos for, achieving that. So learn to celebrate the milestones, the small victories, right? Just like you do in your relationship. And guys, please learn not to forget your anniversary dates. And the 5th point is, don't break up after every other fight that you have with your partner. Do you get to do that in your relationship? Okay, I know that could be the norm in some places or in some circles, but not with your target language. It doesn't work like that. So you have to learn how to be committed to this particular relationship. You have to learn how to stay consistent with the little things that you do every day for your partner, in this case, your target language, if you get what I'm saying. So learn to stay committed, learn to stay consistent. There are going to be the dark times, like when you get into grammar. For instance, if you're studying French, the dark times when you get to deal with passé composé, futur simple, the irregular verbs, imparfait. When you hit those, dark days, seemingly dark days, because there are no hard grounds, okay? But when you hit those seemingly dark days, remember not to break up with your partner. Remember the little victories, right? Remember the good times you've had. Remember the songs that you've learned, the movies that you've watched together, yourself and your target language, and learn not to break up. Stay committed to this relationship. And with these 5 easy steps, in no time, we'll be saying happy married life to you and your target language. Let's do a recap on what we've learned so far, okay? So the first thing I said is you need to have interest. Of course, you had it before you started the relationship, so I didn't have to teach you that, but then the interest has to be there. So you have to check, do I have enough interest in this language, enough to go, the long haul with the language? So interest is key. And the second one is communication. Communication is everything. You have to keep talking every day. Keep contact with your target language. Third one is setting realistic goals. Pace your progress. Take it easy on yourself, all right? So 3 months, 2 weeks, 1 week, 6 months, set realistic goals. The fourth one is celebrate the milestones, the little victories. Learn to dance around when you get your numbers right and the alphabet and the sounds right. Take it easy on yourself. Take yourself out. Get pizza if you may. Pop a bottle of wine. Celebrate your little victories. And the fifth one is, please, I'm begging, do not break up after every fight. Right? Stay consistent, be committed to your relationship with this target language. And like I said, in no time, you'll be saying happy married life to you and your target language. So remember, this is your girl Chi with the Languitude. Let me know what you think about this video in the comment section below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. Thank you. Adios.